Hi, and welcome along to the All Gunz Bazing podcast with my man. Yeah, he's just telling me he got a cold, bro. My man DT. And right now, with what's been going on around the world, man, I'm not into the too much shaking hands.
I never said that I've got like an illness or something. I said to you that I was in hospital today having iron infusion. Yeah, and that is simply obviously because of my medical condition. And obviously it's nearly 2 years.
You need gloves over there.
Fool. Obviously nearly 2 years ago I had surgery and everything, as you know. And one of the downsides to that is that I have to regularly visit hospital and have infusions and iron infusions and other bits and pieces to...
You're Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah, that's the new name. I'm Iron Man.
Iron Man. Iron Man. Yo, get rid of your mask, man. You got your mask.
You know what I mean?
I'll give you this hospital thing, man. I'm a bit.
But I need it. I'm glad we got this. I'm glad we got this 2 week break, man. I'm glad we got this 2 week break.
2 week break.
Yeah.
Arsenal on their way over to Dubai for a little warm weather training. It's going to be lovely for them over there. But you know, I want to ask a question today. Is and I've heard you say it, and I've heard a couple other people say, "No, the season's dead, man. I'm just done. I'm just want it over." Well, but there's still a lot to play for.
Yeah, there is.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, so far, how do you think Arteta's done? But also, more importantly, how can we finish this season? What will be a good end of the season for Arsenal? Because I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the games coming up. I'm looking at the challenges coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what will be a good end of the season? Because let's look at Arteta so far, right?
Only lost once.
Only lost once, right? Now, his first game he kicked off with was the game against Bournemouth, where he went away from home, drew 1-1 with Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of gave him that the first game. Then he had the Chelsea game, which we lost.
Yeah.
And I think nobody came out of that game really angered.
No.
Because they saw a performance, and I think a lot of fans felt very hard done by with that, the Jorginho incident when he should have been sent off. Wasn't props up with. I mean, how did you feel after that game? Is that how you felt?
I felt like that. I felt there was 80 minutes. It was, the plan was executed to perfection. First half, we went all at it. Should have been more than 1-0. That was the only thing that you could take away that was critical. Second half, I feel we, went back into a defensive-minded shape, shall we say, and just basically said, try and break us down. And up until the 80th minute, Chelsea had one header by Tammy Abrahams, which went straight to Leno. There was nothing. There was nothing. And, we knew that at that time as well, they weren't able to press and be as intense. The intensity would never be as, fast and as frenetic as it was in the first, because they ain't got up to those kind of fitness levels yet of a Liverpool Man City, shall we say. But, positive signs from that. And I think everyone walking out were relatively happy.
And then we followed it up with Man United. Man United at home, we beat them 2-0. Pretty comprehensive victory. Good performance. Fans very happy.
Yeah.
Right? Then after that, Leeds in the FA Cup.
Game of two halves.
Yeah. First half, Leeds were all over us.
Second half,
we were all over them. Won that 1-0.
Yeah.
Then Palace, another draw, 1-1.
That one I was a little disappointed with.
Yeah, it wasn't a great performance.
No, it's not that. It's the fact that in that first 20-25 minutes, we were so good, we should have been out of sight.
Yeah.
It should have been about 3-0, game over. And we could have been sitting there with our feet up, feeling relatively happy and comfortable. But didn't take our chances. Aubameyang got sent off. And it was one of those.
1-1.
Yeah, and we also had a chance right at the end, didn't we? With
Sheffield United, 1-1 again. Should have had a penalty in that game, but it was a disappointing performance. I still think we should have had a penalty for the Pepe thing. VAR let us down.
Yeah.
Could have been a different outcome. But
could have been.
Another draw.
Yeah.
Then another draw at Chelsea.
Yeah.
2-2. Obviously, we know the circumstances in that.
Yeah.
10 men again for nearly the whole game.
Yeah.
Great comeback by Arsenal. Went away to Bournemouth in the FA Cup, beaten by 2-1. It's
really
pretty
good performance.
Pretty relatively easy. We conceded right at the end, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
But it was relatively comfortable. And then, of course, the 0-0 draw at Burnley where, again, had 2 big chances at the start of the game, didn't take them. Then you had to say that Burnley played pretty well. And on another day, if they'd have taken their chances, it could have been a different outcome. But another draw.
Yeah.
Why is Arteta drawing so many games?
I think that he's very early realised that the issue is in defence. So I think that he's came in and gone, let's sort the defence out. We need to build a foundation. And what's happened is it's kind of sacrificed the attacking side of our game.
How?
Because whoever's playing on the wing, whether it's Aubameyang or Martinelli, they're also having to do a defensive job. They're working as a unit, learning new positions, new structure. And I feel that where we're getting that right, we haven't got the balance with the attack yet. I think we've been solely focused on being solid and being a unit, that it's taken away from the furthest point. And I know a lot of people will be quite surprised when they look at our attacking players that we're struggling in that sense, but I feel that he's done the right thing, which is to get us structurally put into place first. That's the most important thing. You've got to have a solid foundation, and if you get that, then you can start to build, and you breed confidence as well. And you're looking at it, we've got obviously the new guy that's going to be coming in after the break that we're having. So it'd be
Which
interesting.
One, Pablo Mari or Cedric?
Mari, as in the centre back. I think Cedric is going to be cover for Hector Bellerin. I think he will possibly be used in Europa League games, FA Cup games, those sort of things. But he is preliminarily, he's a cover. He's not going to be first choice. But the Mari one, it'd be interesting to see how he settles and how he fits in within the side. His English is really good, which a lot of people might not know, and that is quite important, to be honest, when you're trying to communicate.
He was at Man City for 3 seasons, but although he didn't spend a lot of time actually at Man City.
Look, it is what it is at the end of the day. You know, some players, it may take them a little longer to develop than some, and you know, you've got to trust the process. This is someone that Mikel Arteta has identified and has wanted, so he's obviously seen something at Man City. Whilst he was there, he will actually know him because he was there at that time. And I think as well, I remember seeing him. I didn't specifically know him, but we have actually seen him recently when he played against Liverpool in the World Club Championships, wasn't it? And it took like an injury time goal to beat them in that one from Liverpool, and he coped with the likes of Salah and Mane, Firmino, etc. really well. So time will tell.
I agree with what you said about getting organised. I think the one thing that I've noticed under Mikel Arteta, I don't know if everybody else has noticed it, but earlier on in the season, we go at the top of the pitch under Unai Emery. We'd be attacking, we'd lose the ball, and it literally, teams were just running through our midfield, charging through. There was acres of space between the front line and even the midfield and the defence, and they were just charging through on the defence time after time. Defenders have been left one-on-one, and we were conceding goals. Since Arteta's come in, I haven't seen that.
No.
He's got that between the lines, is very organised, and teams are not being able to counter us. They found it a lot more difficult to score against us. We haven't always been able to maintain it the full 90 minutes, but you know, we have really, really tightened up from the midfield to the back. We've really, really tightened up. The other thing I've noticed under Arteta is that he's getting the best out of certain players. So Granit Xhaka is a completely different player than what I saw under Unai Emery. You know what I mean? If you turned round tomorrow and you made him captain now, I'd be like, yeah, you know what, I can see why. Right? Because he's now showing a bit of that leadership quality. He's now showing what he can do. He's defending well. He's getting forward with the ball. Still would like to see him, travel with the ball more, but I suppose that's just not his game. His passing's been improved. He looks a lot better. It's like a different player.
It is.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Mustafi. looks a completely different player.
That's the big
to
shot.
what I've seen. Although you know what, somebody did point. I think it was Kelechi was pointing out. He said, "Remember when Mustafi first came in and he struck up that partnership.
Yeah,
remember
we went
with
22
Koscielny?
games or something where we never lost, and then he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah,
and then after that it went downhill.
Came back and he was calamitous.
And I think by then the Arsenal had been coached into him. It's the best way. Not all of the bad habits have been coached into him by that point, but
he's a completely different player.
Yeah, you know
right?
what?
And then Torreira, completely different player.
This is why I think Arteta got it wrong on Sunday against Burnley, and this is what I said to you. And it's Mikel Arteta will make mistakes along this path. Even the best managers in the world will make mistakes. They do things that they shouldn't and whatnot. He's still learning. He will make mistakes. I still don't get why Lucas Torreira was on the bench on Sunday. You referred to Guendouzi playing really well against Bournemouth, but then I countered that by Torreira being one of our best players under Arteta. So you can't...
It was a strange one.
You can't put Guendouzi in the side because he played well in one game in comparison to Torreira, who's played well in 4-5.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get it because I was also looking at it and saying, right, I can understand if you had a game during the week or something like that, and you're trying to.
Nothing. He was rested
just
for
on the verge of a break.
Yeah, and he was rested for
unless
the Bournemouth
there
game.
was some stuff going on behind the scenes in it health wise. Maybe I picked up a little knock or whatever. I mean, I just didn't
and he came on.
Yeah.
So there can't have been any problems. So you can only put it down to Arteta just deciding on the day that that's what he felt was best. And the issue is, for me, is that Torreira, he wins the ball and he releases it quicker. There's the key component there for the way that we build an attack. Whereas Guendouzi can win the ball and he takes an extra 2-3 seconds. That might not seem a lot, but it's a hell of a lot when you're in a transitional period and you're trying to, turn the ball over quickly to the likes of Xhaka and the players in front of him that need that time and space to attack. Those extra 2 seconds are the difference between having the ball and being able to run at someone or someone being right up your backside and shutting you down. So I just don't get it. But like I said, Arteta will make mistakes along this journey, and it's a learning curve, and I feel that maybe he will take something out of that and maybe look at himself and say, you know what, I got that one wrong.
Have you been happy with him now?
Yeah, I have been, because I'm seeing a difference.
You've heard all the talk, Draw FC.
Look, I don't care what people have got to say, right? Outside of Arsenal, I don't really care what people have to say, right? Because we're living in a reactionary world now where unless you do something immediately, you're shit. All right, and I know we have banter and everything else, and with other clubs, I do. Yeah, we have no, it's banter, but there's people out there that are genuinely serious about things. They genuinely believe that we are not progressing, and those are people that don't see performances. They see a result, they see a draw, and go, "Oh, Arsenal is shit." They don't look at the overall game. I'm seeing a massive difference. Like I said, structurally, he's put us in the right direction and making us solid at the base, and then the rest will follow. He's also got to stamp his own authority on the team, his own players, his own style, and he's going to have to make mistakes to learn by those mistakes as well. The fact that we've lost 6 games all season. Now, I know we've only won 6, but we've lost 6. That's the joint second best in the Premier League behind Liverpool. It's the same as Manchester City, the same as Leicester. The difference is, I'm not sitting here trying to applaud it, but what I'm trying to say is that it's those draws. We now need to learn to, turn those games into victories. The good sides turn draws into victories. When they're not playing well and they have to get over the line, they do that. Your Manchester Cities, your Liverpools, they can turn that around. We're not. We're kind of getting stuck in that middle ground. What is it, 13 draws at the moment? I think the Premier League record in a season 17. So we're quite close to it, but we're still unbeaten in 2020. Which is it's a start. At the end of the day, we said this, all right? There's going to be a lot of bumps in this road. We've got to I won't say right off the season, because we've still got the Europa League.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you, first of all, right? We're talking about writing off the season and stuff like that, and I've heard a lot of people say that. But first of all, let's look at the league. We are, we are miles off, right? So we currently in 10th place on 31 points. That's 10 points off Chelsea.
That's what I mean. 41. Nobody is actually doing anything.
That's not unassailable, is it? I mean, with the amount of games that are left, it's not.
I'll tell you what
it would take a bit of a miracle, but you think of it, you get on a little run.
Exactly. All it takes is one team from 4th to 10th, right, to go on a run.
Yeah, because you look at the league. All right, we know Liverpool have won the league already. City 51 points, and with their squad, you would assume they're getting to that second spot. Leicester 49 points, you'd assume they should be able to see that home. Everybody's going to be vying for that other spot. Now, that spot at the moment, Chelsea have got it on 41. You got Tottenham on 37 points. You remember a couple of weeks ago but it's a couple of wins that have pushed them up there, right? Then you've got Sheffield United on 36, Man United on 35, Wolves on 35, Everton on 33, us on 31, and there's a whole, actually, we're on 31, Burnley on 31, Newcastle on 31, Southampton on 31, right? But you think if you go on a little run, top 4 is not completely... Listen, the likely of the top 4, I don't think we will get it, but you can't discount it if we went on a run. Then I'm starting to look at fixtures coming up. Our next 3 Premier League games are at home. Yeah, because Man City's been cancelled. Because that's a lot of things that people have also forgotten in the fact that with the Arteta games that he's had so far, quite a few of those games have been away from home. Yeah, places. The last 3 games have been away from home. Yeah, so you had Bournemouth, that was away from home. You had Chelsea away from home, right? Palace away from home. Sheffield United was at home, right? So some difficult away days in that, and Burnley. And remember, right, Burnley have been on a little run. They beat Leicester at home just before we got there, and Manchester they beat Man United. So they were never going to be easy. They've not. I wouldn't say they're easy games, but coming up, Newcastle at home. That is a massive game. Massive. And next game after this break, Sunday the 16th of February. That game is huge. If we to have any chance at all, and it's an outside chance of getting in the top 4, we got to win that game. Yeah, of course. And that's winnable. We got a great record against Newcastle at home. Yeah. We know what they're going to do. They're going to come. They're going to be a very well organised team that will try and catch us on the counter. Right? They have been defending well this season, Newcastle, and they've taken a couple of decent scalps. Most of them at home. But yeah, we got to win that. You got to win. Got to win. Then the next one after that at home in the league is Everton at home. Again. Everton, of course, again, another team that at home over the years we've had a great record against. Yeah. Will be a hard game. Ancelotti, they came back from 2-0 down against Watford. I mean, I watched that game. I thought Watford really pressed the self-destruct, should have won it. They were comfortable at 2-0. 2-0 after 42 minutes. You get them sort of wins away from home. It does buoy you up, and it does show you that they are a decent team, Everton. So you got Everton, and then as you said, the next game after that, West Ham were absolute nightmare at the moment. Yeah. Now you look at those 3 games and you say over the years, those are 3 games at home where you could say win. 3 points. Yeah. We win those games. If we were to go on and get a few wins going, then after that game against West Ham's the 7th of March. Then we got Brighton away. 2 away games we got coming up. Not easy, but winnable, isn't it? If you're on form. Yeah, of course. Right? And then following that up, Southampton away. Haven't done well down there over the years. It hasn't been but if you're on form, again, winnable. Yeah. Or maybe a draw. You know what I mean? But it's just been one of them. I'm looking at the 3 home games. They've been a bit of a bogey team, isn't they? The 3 home games are the most important for me first. Then we go into April, we got Norwich at home. Yeah. You'd have thought, again, we should win that game, right? The week after that, Wolves away. That will be tough. Yeah. That'll be a tough game. So before that, they're all winnable games. Before that, they're all winnable games. Then you get to that game in April, that's tough. Wolves away. We've also got to squeeze Man City around there somewhere. We've got to squeeze Man City in somewhere away. We know that's going to be very tough. Probably not 3 points from that. Leicester at home. Huge game. Huge game. winnable game. Huge game.
We do all right at home against Leicester.
Yeah, again at home, we've got a good record against these teams, but it will be tough.
Yeah.
Tottenham away, where we drew last year.
But different place, isn't it?
Different place this year.
You're looking forward to the walk.
Tough. Long walk.
Boy.
Long walk.
Long walk.
Tough game as well. That's one of the toughest games. That and Man City away are the two really, really tough games we have away from home.
Yeah.
Then following that up, Liverpool at home. This is why it's critical.
Well,
because you look at that, you've got 3 games there.
You say that Liverpool will already be champions by then.
Yeah, but still they'll be wanting to go the whole season unbeaten, won't they?
Yeah, but they might not.
They'll be wanting to go the whole season.
But they might have lost by then.
Ooh, well, we hope. We certainly.
I'm right in thinking that they play. They can equal our 49 game unbeaten record, and then their 50th game to beat the record is Man City away.
Something like that.
It is. They're either playing them on the 49th or the 50th game.
Yeah.
One of the two. It's either to equal our record or break it. So hopefully, if they're up there at that time, another trip to Manchester ends a record, because it happened to us. We went to Manchester, and I won't say Man United ended our record. I say Mike Riley ended it. Do you know what I mean? But
3 games on the bounce of Liverpool, Tottenham, Leicester, Tottenham, and Liverpool.
Yeah,
and then we end the season off with Aston Villa away. Again, they might be fighting for their lives down at the bottom.
Watford at home.
And Watford at home.
Who may well need to get something to stay in the Premier League.
So listen, I think it's all about, when I study it that way, it's all about getting on a run.
Yeah.
We've got to get on a run. And that run has to start with those
Newcastle.
3 home games.
Yeah.
Which is
Newcastle,
Everton, West Ham.
Yeah, 9 points out of 9. No exception. I'm sorry, but that's...
If on that warm weather training that they're doing, Arteta's got to be sitting them down and saying, yeah, we need to win these next 3 games. I actually think they need to go all out on those 3.
Yeah, we do. Have you
all
seen
out.
Have you
You've
seen
got to
what
say to yourself, all out win. It doesn't matter. No draws, no draws the same as a loss.
There can't be any of that.
A draw's the same as a loss on those 3 games.
It's got to be victories. Have you seen what they are actually doing in Dubai? And I actually do like what I'm seeing, because we all know they're going out there for training.
Party.
Well,
training, Joseph.
But I thought initially that the squad were going to go out, they were going to stay there for the week, they're all going to be camped up in a hotel and everything else. But obviously, looking at the players' Instagram posts and stories and stuff like that, every player's gone out there with their friends, family, children and whatnot, and they're not staying all in one place. They're staying in their own, parts of Dubai to be with their family. I've seen Xhaka post pictures with his wife and child, and they're in their own apartment. Aubameyang's got his own apartment with his wife and children. I think the likes of Nelson and Willock and all them are staying in the same place we stayed in, the 5 Palm Jumeirah. Pepe's driving around with his mates in some fancy car in Dubai. So it's kind of like...
listen, man.
But what I'm saying is, what I like is to try
it's a break, isn't it? It's a break.
Because
it should be.
What I like is the sense of home life.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just going to training, you're coming back, you're all stuck in a hotel and you're kind of sitting there like...
Well, remember, it's supposed to be a winter break.
It is a break.
Right? So, like, all the other teams across Europe, when they had their winter break round about Christmas, they would have spent, they weren't training all that time, they were spending it with their families and that. And basically, this break is not really... doesn't compare to the break that those other teams in Europe really got. Even those 2 weeks in an effect.
It's different to the last time we went to Dubai.
Training.
It's different to the last time because that was strictly
that was a
training
mid-season
for the game and everything else. This is bringing your
and they're going to need
life.
that because they've got some, coming back is, as I said, those 3 games to me are absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they have to win all 3.
You don't need to tell me. It's 9 points out of 9.
Yeah, and even a draw is going to be like a loss.
It has to be 9 points out of 9. We get on a little bit of a run, and everyone else is still inconsistent because no one's been consistent. Like I said, if someone put a run together, they'll take that top 4, but nobody has.
That's what I think. That is exactly how I'm looking at it. Right, I'm looking at that top 4, and I'm saying any team out of any of those teams that I mentioned puts a run together. of say 4 or 5 wins, call it 5 wins on the bounce, that top 4 can be yours.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about winning. It's all about going on a winning run. We got to do that. We've over the years had good records in February as well. I mean, so those are things. But I definitely look at those games and
also remember that squeezed in between all of that as well is 2 very important games in the Europa League.
Well, that's what I'm going to say about those as well. We've got Europa League games coming up, right? And it's Olympiacos, the top of the league over there in Greece, which normally over the years gone by, we always say that's like standard. But last year they didn't win the league. They and they've had a bit of a resurgence in their team. I know that they sold a couple of players in the January transfer window that will weaken them a bit, but I remember them giving Tottenham a lot of trouble. Yeah. In the Champions League, they were 2-0 up. Remember
at their stadium,
White Hart Lane, and then they managed
White Hart Lane
or
Tottenham Stadium,
Tottenham Lane or whatever they was Park Lane or whatever they call it, right? Right. But I just look at it and I think again that's another area that Arsenal should be looking at. Trying to win the Europa League. I was having an argument with Troots about it on the Bias Premier League show.
You two do nothing but argue.
But he was saying to me, no chance, based on the teams that are left in it, why not?
Yeah. How are you getting on with cutting his hair, by the way?
He doesn't want to cut his hair.
I'd go mad with that forfeit as well. If you went in my beard, hair or anything like that.
So do you remember that Pepper tweet?
I know, but that's not...
That was days of pain, bro.
No, but that's like...
You can grow your hair back.
You can't.
You can grow your hair back. He can't he?
Yeah, but
he can grow his hair back.
I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to seeing.
You can shave a beard. You can grow that back, can't you?
Listen, man. Do you know how long it takes to grow this, man? Jesus Christ, man.
What a beard?
I'd be wounded, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like
grow that back in 3 weeks, man.
Nah, man. Nah, it took me 3 years. No, but I'll be interested just to see. I know we're off topic, but I'll be interested to see what you forfeit you're giving whilst you're in America.
Yeah, no, don't worry, man. I'm going to sort something out for him, right? But listen, I wanted to let me just have a look actually, because just thinking about that, the Europa League, the teams that are left in it, because he's going to me. There's no chance.
Celtic are still in it.
Based off of the teams that are in
it.
We can't beat Celtic or Rangers.
It's not that we can't beat them.
Let me give you a rundown of the teams.
Going to those 2 places, either Ibrox or Celtic Park, is difficult.
We've been to harder places than those.
It's the Battle of Britain,
It's difficult, but come on.
It'd be difficult
for them coming to our place.
I know it'd be difficult, but I'm saying they're the kind of ties you don't really want because they can be difficult.
These are the ties you have to win to. These are the ties you have to win to win it, right? These are the teams left.
Okay.
Club Brugge, we can beat them, can't we?
Who are they playing?
Man United, right?
So you already saying they're going to beat Man United,
No, they probably won't beat. I'm just running through all the teams.
And is
it
left. Right that after Olympiacos we can draw
English teams, right? Okay. Man United, obviously, that would be difficult over 2 legs. Even though we've beaten them, we took 4 points off them this season, but we know it's Man United. It's going to be a hard game, right?
Yeah.
Beatable, right?
Okay.
Ludogorets, beatable. Inter Milan, that'll be tough. They're probably one of the strong teams left in it, but come on, we can't beat Inter Milan. I think we can.
Inter Milan's got most of Man United playing for them.
We beat Napoli last season. We beat Valencia last season, right? Why can't we, right? Eintracht Frankfurt, right? We already
beaten them,
right?
Who are they playing?
They're playing Red Bull Salzburg. Red Bull Salzburg, of course, they were flying at Haaland and those guys, but they're all gone now.
Yeah,
right. Kobervan? I've never heard of that team.
Who?
Kobervan? How do you pronounce that? Kobervan? I never even heard of that team.
I think that's Copenhagen.
That's how it's pronounced. It's probably Copenhagen. But it's written in
Copenhagen. It's Jesus Christ. Robin,
no, but look how it's spelled. Would you have known that straight off? You didn't even know it straight off.
Yeah, because I looked at it.
It's spelled Kobenhavn. Obviously, that's how they spell it in Denmark, right?
But then they're
playing Celtic, right? But 2 teams we can beat. Yeah. Club Cluj. CFR Cluj, Sevilla. Both teams we can beat. Sevilla will be tough. We know always good in this, but beatable.
I'm just looking at your pronunciations.
Sporting Lisbon.
Beaten them.
No Fernandes. No, we've beaten them before, innit? Twice.
Yeah.
Istanbul.
Go on. What's the other name?
What is it?
No, you tell me.
No, I'm asking
Istanbul Basikshehir.
It's actually Besiktas. See, that's another way they've spelled it. On this app, they're spelling it how they spell it in their countries.
The only reason
But
why
it's
you know
Besiktas.
Besiktas is because you've been saying it so much and you want Ozil to go there.
But both beatable.
Okay.
Shakhtar Donetsk versus Benfica, 2 top teams, both beatable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Getafe versus Ajax.
Yeah.
Both beatable. Ajax, we know they got to the semi-finals last year and everything like that, but it's not the same Ajax. A good Ajax still, good Ajax team,
yeah,
but not the same Ajax as last year. They're missing a lot of those star players. Wolfsburg versus Malmo. Beatable. Mm. Bayer Leverkusen versus Porto. 2 good teams, but both beatable. Bayer Leverkusen, a very good team, actually. Both beatable. AZ Alkmaar versus LASK. Beatable.
LASK, who are they?
I'm not sure that's the LASK.
I know Alkmaar because that's the one Troops wanted because it's right next to Amsterdam.
Olympiacos, of course, who we've got. Wolves, who I think they're one of the strong teams left in the top, versus Espanyol. Wolves, we know, a very good side, but both beatable. Mm-hmm. Apoel Nicosia versus FC Basel. We've beaten Basel before. Nicosia, decent team, but you'd have thought if they drew Arsenal, we're supposed to beat them. Mm-hmm. Roma, we know Roma are, a top team, versus Ghent, but both beatable. And Rangers versus Braga. Right, now in that, I'd say the real tough games there.
Inter Milan,
Ajax, Man United, Wolves.
Celtic.
And Roma.
Celtic and Rangers, I still put that.
Celtic and Rangers will give you trouble, but you're supposed to beat them.
Yeah, I know you're supposed to beat them. I'm just saying they would give you trouble.
But the other teams in there, that you say to yourself, well, you know what, if they beat us, they're on the same levels to us. Ajax, Inter Milan, Roma, Man United, Wolves.
But then you never know, some of those sides we mentioned could get knocked out.
Yeah, and it's a cup competition. I look on that and I say it is just as hard last year. We had a hard path to that final. We had to get past Valencia and a Napoli that, were probably you'd rate higher.
I remember when we done the draw and we were the first name out with Napoli and me and you were doing a live reaction.
Yeah. And we were like,
straight away, the first name out and we were like, Napoli, right, let's go on. And we're like, bye-bye, thanks for joining us on the live stream, we're going.
Yeah.
And that's what we were like. And
we beat them home and away.
Yeah, and everyone was like, not even Liverpool could beat them. This, that, the other. And we ended up beating them quite convincingly.
So I just look on it and I'm like, we can't be writing off, we can't be saying doubting ourselves in the Europa League, because I think that anybody else who was doing an equivalent podcast looking at Arsenal would be saying to himself, I don't really want to get Arsenal, because the last 2 seasons in the Europa League, remember, we got to the semi-final and the final. All right, we didn't win it, but semi-final and final last 2 seasons. So the pedigree is there for going far down in cup competitions. And I also feel that with Arteta's style of football, the way he's got us more organised, that sets us up nicely in cup competitions. Yeah. Because, all right, a draw in a cup competition, it could go to a penalty shootout, you can then progress to the next. You know what I mean? Hard to beat in cup competitions is always a good ingredient for going far down in that tournament. So
it is.
Europa League, and then, you win that, you get back into the Champions League. Yeah. I think that's the only route, if I'm being 100% honest. Yeah. But
we need to get back in the Champions League.
And then you've got the FA Cup still.
Yeah.
The FA Cup, we got Portsmouth in the next round.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. Going back down to the south coast.
Be tough. And
cold.
The thing about the next round is, if that was to end in a draw, it goes straight to a penalty shootout, I was told. It wouldn't.
Oh, what, from the
Yeah, because
going into the
so we can't afford to draw that game either. We can't afford to be drawing that game.
Oh my God!
And I hope as well that in all of these games, even like the FA Cup, I want to see Mikel Arteta going strong in these competitions.
He has been, to be fair.
He has been, but I mean, like, as we're getting further down in it, not even resting players, just going for it.
It'd be, because I'm going to be interested to see what the Liverpool result is against Shrewsbury, with them playing their second side, because I know Man City are still in there, but Liverpool are the one that you just don't want to play at the moment, because they're just battering everyone, aren't they? So with them, if they are out of the FA Cup, then I suppose it gives everyone that little incentive to say, all right, there's Man City in there still, but they've been beatable this season. They're not the Man City they were. So
But FA Cup's another trophy we've got to go
it's
for.
another
So
trophy.
it could. You really look on it like this, right? It can still be a good season.
Oh, of course, it could be.
Right?
It could be.
If we go far down in that Europa League, and if we won the Europa League, it'd be a great season.
Oh, mate,
right?
Can you imagine?
If we win an FA Cup, I think it would be a good season.
I think if we win an FA Cup but we're not in a Champions League, it ain't a good season.
I think if we win an FA Cup and we're not in the Champions League, under the circumstances, manager sacked and stuff like that, it would have been a good season.
I get what you're saying.
It would
in
have
that
turned out
sense.
to have been
I get what you're saying.
maybe
there,
good. It would have turned out to have been a decent season.
I still think the sole objective now is to get back in the Champions League first and foremost, because it's critical for our future now because of the money, what we want to spend, the players we want to attract. Mikel Arteta's first full season, if he's got that as a make weight behind him, like a carrot, shall we say, to certain players, the Champions League could be the difference between signing an Upamecano in the summer or signing a, you know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say? It's just
Ben me.
saying that, we couldn't get past him, could we?
He played well, actually.
Yeah, so it's that for me is just the difference. I know that they say when Arsenal knock, it's a different knock, but at the end of the day, I want to see us back in the Champions League. Now,
what about top six?
Do you know what? If we're not going to finish,
there's a lot of fans saying if we don't make top four, they'd rather not even get into the Europa League.
Yeah, because you know what? If you were to say to me now, right, you're not going to win the Europa League, and you're not going to finish in the top four, I wouldn't care finishing outside of Europe for a season. I think maybe the
team of art. Do you think that would
no? Because I think maybe for the
stop
season
attracting players if you're not even in the Europa League.
Because it depends what kind of package you put on the table and plan you show everyone. And if a lot of players look at it and say, you know what, it's only a season, I know where we're going to go. Cool, I buy into that. Plan and that idea. That
plan's only going to work if it's a plan backed up by money. So
of course, it has to be. But then I've said to you as well, though. I said let's be real, all right. The board did back Unai Emery in the summer. All right, we went and bought players in areas we needed to buy. The only one where you can look at and say you wanted a big one in there, big signing, big name, was your centre back, which we weren't able to get. We were only able to get what you can call a stopgap with David Luiz, should we say. Got the experience, but everywhere we looked and we said, need to address that. We addressed it. Spent over £70 million on Nicolas Pepe. If you would have said at the start of the summer, you'll go and buy Pepe, you would have turned around and went, no chance. And I still think the guy's going to come good by next season. He'll be. I've got no problems about Nicolas Pepe at all.
Critical to having any chance of doing any of those things we just spoken about, like possibility of top four, winning the Europa League, right? Winning the FA Cup. I think critical to that is certain players, right? Now, Pepe's one. Yeah. Right, and you're saying that you're confident that he's going to come good, but he needs to start coming good now. I
know what you're saying, but what I will say is that since Arteta's been here as well, it's another player that I'm seeing those signs already. I'm seeing him start to get used to the tackles, get used to the rough and tumble of the Premier League, put himself about in the mix a little bit more than he was. His understanding. He's also under his third manager. That's not easy for anybody. You're coming into a new country, new league, new style, and you've had 3 managers. It's not easy, man. And you've just got to look at it and say, let's get a good end to the season. Let him keep doing what he's doing and show some more signs. And I feel that next year is a big season for Pepe.
You know the games.
Seen enough there.
Obviously, you know the games as we've been describing them coming up.
Yeah.
If you're in charge and you're manager of those games, do you drop Lacazette?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I think that we're shoehorning him in at the moment, and it's detrimental to us. And I think that sometimes, you've got to put other things forward. I can see what Arteta's trying, but right now, I don't know what's wrong with Lacazette. He's so out of form. This is not even just a dip. This is like crisis. This is like, wow, this is shocking. Shouldn't be in the team. The other problem with Sunday was that you put Martinelli on the right hand side. He's not as effective on the right as he is the left. You put in who is our best striker centrally out on the left. you know, there's too much shoehorning, and it's just kind of like, go with what's strong, put Pepe, especially with our next 3 games being at home. We're going to be more in the ascendancy, attacking, big pitch, everything else. Pepe on the right, Martinelli left, Oba through the middle. It's as simple as that. That has to be our attacking 3. I'd even look at maybe changing Ozil and with giving Ceballos a chance. Maybe, because I was impressed with Ceballos when he come on against Bournemouth. I thought he was playing some really nice, intricate little passes and opening up the play for Saka to feed onto and whatnot. But just Laka's not firing at the moment, and I don't think that we can keep persisting, because at the moment the reason why we're still drawing games is because we're not scoring. Play your best striker. Best striker centrally is Aubameyang. Play him centrally. Martinelli plays better out on the left. Play him out on the left. Nicolas Pepe, play him out on the right. Give them these next 3 games and let them go and cause some damage and see what they can do.
You're starting 11 for the game against Newcastle.
Leno, Bellerin, Luiz, Mustafi.
Not Pablo Mari.
No, yeah. Who would he replace? To start with, Mustafi.
Say Mustafi.
Mustafi's been absolutely exceptional last 2 games. Sorry, but he's been brilliant. Burnley, absolutely
Never thought I'd
brilliant.
Did you say that again?
I know. I never thought I'd say it. You're not cutting it. You can cut this out. Use it. Listen, look, I'm one of the ones.
Credit where it's due.
Credit where it's due. I'm one of the ones that said I don't want to see him in an Arsenal shirt again. And I don't think there was anyone that wasn't, you know, of the same thought process. There's still people with that same thought process now, despite its good performances. But at the end of the day, if you can criticise someone, you've got to be big enough to turn around and praise someone when they're doing right. And I'm not going to sit there just because I don't think that's what we need. And I do think we need that big, imposing centre-half, like a Van Dijk, for example. But it doesn't mean I can't praise the man when he's doing well. You know, maybe it's the fact that he's got a do-rag and a new haircut that he's, you know what I mean? He seems to be changing, but his performances, man.
Would you keep him if he performs like he's been doing recently from now till the end of the season? Would you keep him?
If he's performing like that, you would do. Because I'm not saying to be the starter, but to be in and around the squad, it's good to have numbers. You know, and when you look at the age of Luiz, Socrates, still got youngsters there that are bedding in, and you're still trying to decide what you want to do. And you've obviously got the likes of Saliba coming next season. He's still a kid, despite how good he looks. So yeah, if Mustafi stays like that, the only issue with Mustafi that I have is he just has that odd mistake in him, and you're just like, oh, if he could wipe that out of his game. But
right,
yeah, so I'd have them. Left back, I believe Kolasinac will be back. I'm not sure on the injury of Saka, so I'm not sure.
If both of them are fit, Kolasinac and Saka, who would you play?
I would go with Kolasinac to start with. I would just for the.
I mean, Kolasinac was playing well.
This is the thing. He was playing. He looked more like the Kolasinac that we bought from Germany.
But I'll tell you what, man, and I know Saka's impressed me, man, and he's quick. He creates a lot more width, in my opinion. Than Kolasinac does. Although Kolasinac, I do like his sort of directness. Yeah,
I just feel that maybe with that bit of experience, and maybe let Saka go and try and get that forward berth, which is what he's, you know,
right. In front of him.
Torreira and Xhaka.
Okay.
Right hand side Pepe, left hand side Martinelli. Being the fact that we're at home, I'd start Ozil with being at home. I actually don't think his performance was as bad as some people are trying to make out on Sunday against Burnley. It wasn't. I think that he played between the lines well. He was working hard, but
so Graham
it's
said
just this
in the Tactical Insight show. Make sure you guys check that out. It's a good show. That is. Graham said, he ain't had one assist.
No.
In 2 years away from home.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
You're talking about dropping Laka.
Yeah, no.
I mean, which he also has not scored a goal, I think, away from home.
But what did I just say to you? Being the fact that we're at home.
Yeah, but
Ozil's better performances do come at home.
How is he getting so much game time when you... I didn't realise the record was as bad as that. I mean...
In 2 years.
Not one assist away. So basically away from home is no point.
Yeah, I see the stat get put up the other day after the game.
Wow, I couldn't believe that. But yeah, I suppose you're right. At home, he plays better, and
that's the only reason why. If it was away, then I would have a little reservation to it. I still feel that Joe Willock has got a lot to learn.
He looked lively when he came on.
He looks lively, but I still think he's got a lot to learn. He's still a young lad.
Ian Wright's saying that he feels that Joe Willock is supposed to get his chance now.
Given the fact that we're at home, maybe.
I mean, as I said, when you're talking about what you just said about Ozil, maybe Willock should be getting a chance.
But then the fact that we're at home, and I would like to see that with Pepe on the right and
I want to see
the middle.
You know what? I'd go Ceballos as well. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Ceballos in there because I want to see his midfielders don't score no goals.
That is the only position that I've kind of got a bit of a. I think everything else I'm pretty confident with what I would like to go with.
gets himself into positions and don't want to shoot.
I know it does annoy me
mad.
because it is. We had this conversation on last week's podcast about the number 10 role dying out, and you've got to do more now. You've got to have an all-round game. You've got to
shoot,
be more, like you've got to be more like a De Bruyne. But I feel that you know what, if we get rid of Mesut Ozil in the summer, and I feel that if Arsenal do stick to their word, which is you're not going to run down your contract. I know it's going to be tough with him because of the size of his contract. But if we get rid of him, then for me, the person that's got to come in and replace him is Ziyech.
Ziyech.
All day. He is perfect.
I'd go to Havertz.
No, for me, it's Ziyech. That
Ziyech
role,
is not really, he's not really a number 10.
No, yes, he is, man. That role,
not really,
role would be perfect for him. Should we have a poll?
He's a bit better out wide.
Should we have a poll? Come on, we need a poll. We need a poll today. Come on, let's have a poll.
He's a bit better out wide.
Who did you say again?
That Havertz or
no? You can only pick one. You can only pick one.
Havertz or Coutinho.
Cool.
If Coutinho's available, right, and Coutinho, right, is
I
was reading some stuff the other day where they were saying because of his agent, works closely with Sanelli, and I'd have Coutinho.
How's he getting on with?
He's doing all right by him. He's doing all right by him, but he's
But it's only. But do is it an obligation or?
I'm not sure.
Or where they have to buy him?
I'm not sure. I'll be bringing him back to England, bring him to London. Coutinho in behind that front three, he's going to score goals. Anything that drops on that box out there, he's banging it, right? And we lack that sort of player. And I think I like that Havertz because I think he's very creative. But I think the other day I can't remember which I was doing this transfer show and I said Havertz. Now I'm leaning back more towards Coutinho because I just think he knows the Premier League.
Yeah.
And he scores goals, man, and we don't score goals from midfield.
We need to check what the loan is because I swear it's a loan with a with the
obligation to buy.
The obligation.
I'm not too sure if it is. But I like him, and I think I think in the summer, 2 big money signings for Arsenal, a big. Expensive centre back, and to say somebody like Coutinho.
If we bought in another Upamecano and Coutinho, you'd have to just say,
"You've got a team that's on the way up."
Yeah,
you got a team there capable of getting into the top 4. If with those 2 players coming in, and if you then say you still got your Salibas, and what I do like about Arsenal at the moment is there's some good young players coming up, man. Yeah. I think Saka has got a huge future, Martinelli huge future, Guendouzi huge future. You know what I mean? So that's why the last transfer window that came round.
Yeah,
and then the other thing is Mikel Arteta is bringing the best out of the players he's got. So the reason why nobody weren't losing it in the transfer window that just went by is that all of a sudden Xhaka started to play like how we wanted him to play. So you're thinking there's no urgency there. Let me see how he gets on from now till the end of the season. Mustafi and players like that are coming in and performing a lot better. So you're like, you know what? I know we need a centre back, but let's not panic. Let's see how this guy, if he can continue that from now till the end of the season, let's see how he gets on. And then maybe we know we need, like you just said, I know we need better, but no need to panic. And I really do think Arteta is the one that was responsible with what he's done since he's come in. And like you said, when people just talk about draw FC and that, they're underestimating what he's done because we've seen the performances. He's got players playing and he's bringing the best out of what we've got. So a lot of people have just sort of rocked back a bit and said, hold on a minute, let me see just what we can do. And so, but normally what's happened over the past few seasons, we've been in a panic because we're seeing these players underperforming. They've been rubbish. And we're like, we need to get a new Xhaka. We have to replace him. Let's get this man and that man. And we'll name out 5 players. But this time around, as I said, because of the performances, we're like, well, I still think we do. Well, I don't know. Well, let me see how it. You know what I mean? And he cooled the panic down. So I want to see how these guys go from now till the end of the season. I look on it. I say if they can finish the season strongly. So a lot of players there, their careers are on the line.
Yeah.
Mustafi's career is on the line. What if I put in a brilliant performance from now till the end of the season? They might turn around and say, do you know what? We thought we needed this guy to go, but I think even as he's a squad player, we have to keep him. Same goes for Xhaka. And there's a few other players in that team like that as well, David Luiz and people like that as well. So I think Arteta's, but we've got to finish. This is what I'm saying, and I wanted to sort of make it that sort of subject today, because I've heard a lot of fans say things, the season's done.
It's not done. It's not done yet.
I'm looking on it, I'm like, no, the season ain't done. Let's finish this season in the strongest possible way so that we've got something really effective to build on for next season.
Yeah.
Right? We've got to finish the season strongly. We've got to start winning games. Let's get that winning mentality back, not this drawing mentality, the winning mentality. Let's get over the lines in these games, you know what I mean? Let's go and win a trophy. And, Arsenal, that's when you can start looking at a team that's starting to be on the way back. Because it ain't going to be this season, and it ain't going to be overnight. It's going to take time.
It's a lot of draws on that.
But anyway, listen, thanks for listening and watching the podcast today. Don't forget you can download it on all formats. You wanted a poll, didn't you?
Yeah, we'll do a poll.
What do you want a poll on?
The first two names that we brought up, which was Ziyech or...
Ziyech or Coutinho.
Oh, look at him doing that one, because even I would probably pick Coutinho because he is Premier League proven.
No, but that's one thing. I'm going...
Oh, you guys... I thought you said... No, because I didn't think... Because we don't know whether... We don't know whether he's...
Well, you ain't thinking big,
we don't know whether he's got the thing.
I'm thinking big.
Oh, my life. Here he goes, man. Do you know what I mean?
Ziyech or Coutinho.
Did you have any... by the way, did you have any negative comments about your meeting with Sean Dyche?
I didn't, actually.
No.
I thought you were going to get people, oh, look, he's a Burnley fan now, look. Well, he now supports Burnley.
To be fair, though, you do have a lot in common. Because
I saw your comment.
Because both of your teams play the exact same way.
I saw your comment.
I loved it.
Fair play to Sean Dyche. We were just literally filming, and he just walked out, and he was just...
I thought you were going to say he come over and he was like, let me give my opinion on the game.
We'd finished filming, actually. We'd pack it away. I think he sort of saw us because he knew who we were. I think he was glad that we'd finished and we weren't going to ask him to do anything. But, he was a nice enough guy.
I've met him once before. I met him at the FIFA Awards.
It was so different, right? Like, just to see a manager just walk out.
To stroll out.
And fair play to him. He had no bodyguards, nothing. No security, and he was talking to everybody. It was I like that, man. I mean, I like that in football. And all them people, you shouldn't take a... What world are these people living in, man?
Burnley Fan TV.
Maybe. Burnley Fan TV.
You own Chelsea TV as well, and all the rest of it, as everyone's been saying.
Burnley Fan TV.
Months.
It was a great result today. We're off to the club.
You've got Dortmund TV as well. I think that one's come out before because of you being in Dortmund.
I went on to Dortmund.
Yeah, and you got the picture you with the scarf.
Oh yeah, I was in Dortmund in that time.
You was at the yellow wall.
Listen, man. Yeah, I don't waste my time and argue with people who.
I just see it on I'd leave a little comment because that's me.
Yeah, Yeah, I know you. Yeah,
gonna enjoy America.
Yeah, looking forward to America. You coming?
No.
Why? Why is it you can never go to America? Anyway, that's for another show. All right. Thanks for watching.
Nothing like that. It's nothing like that. I'm going on holiday myself.
Why are you never go to America, man?
I'm going on holiday myself, man.
Where? America?
Huh?
Where are you going?
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling
where
you where I'm not telling you where I'm going. You'll see the pictures.
Where are you going to,
man? I'm not telling you.
Is it America?
No, I'm not telling you.
Why do you never go to America?
What? I don't. It's just falling into
That's shut him up, isn't it?
No,
why is he quiet today, boy?
No.
Listen, you can download it on all formats, right?
You're such a dickhead.
And we will be back next week.
You're a dickhead. Seriously.